Okay, this is the water meter and water pressure video. You just come in here. Okay, the water meter is in the parkway. By the way, parkways are not part of the inspection, but that might be a trip hazard. Just saying. This is an analog meter. This is a good thing. See that little red sprocket in the middle of that? That's a flow indicator. Okay, that's some people call it cheater wheel or cheater paddle. It's very sensitive. If that's moving, water's moving. So go find your leak. If it's not someplace you can see, then it's going to be someplace you can't see. So just be aware of that. I think I'm standing on an ant bed. That's always nice. So for today's purposes, this is past the water meter test. This valve on this side of the water meter belongs to the municipality, to the water company, if you will, the utilities. And but that might be the only way to turn the water off to the house, because I cannot locate a main water shutoff valve to the home. So this might be the way that you do it. It's not the right way. I'm going to say that you don't have one. I'm not going to say that you can't turn the water off, because you can. But you need a wrench. You need some know-how. You should have a valve close to the house, and you turn everything off. That's what you should have. Coming over here, we're looking between 40 and 80 psi. This is the front exterior bib faucet, and we can see right here that this bib faucet does not have a vacuum breaker. It comes up directly out of the ground without any additional support. It should be supported, and it should be insulated, keep it from freezing, and it's none of those things. I'm looking between 40 and 80 psi. No vacuum breaker. I think I mentioned that already. The valve stem leaks. That's not uncommon when you got this much pressure over in here. And here we go. Let's stick my head in these bushes. Hillbilly home inspection. About 70 psi, which is about ideal. And again, the stem's leaking. It's not properly supported, not properly insulated, do not have a vacuum breaker. I cannot find a main water shutoff valve. This is the main clean out. It doesn't look like we have a double, but we at least have one main clean out, and it's PVC. When this house was built, they didn't have PVC drain lines. They weren't very popular. But even if they did, that's awful clean. So we know that we've had some kind of work here in the past. I don't know how much of the drain system's been replaced. I'll get a better idea when I get inside the house. Moving on along. The lawn sprinkler system was not contracted for inspection, beyond the scope of this inspection. So any observations in regard to the lawn sprinkler system are provided as a courtesy only, and are partial in context. They're limited. But this is the check valve for the lawn sprinkler system. They're supposed to be serviced about once a year. You've got isolation valves on both sides of the check valve, and it's nice and deep in there. The isolation valves are rusty, as you can see, and this irrigation box should be lined with gravel to keep mud from sliding in. So it should have been serviced within the last year. This is all that was required when the home was built, when the lawn sprinkler system was installed, no doubt. That by today's standards, you would have a main shutoff valve to the system. These are isolation valves for the check valve, but you have a main shutoff valve, just like you should have a main shutoff valve for the house. So what do we have in regards to the lawn sprinkler system? We got rusty handles. The irrigation box should be lined with gravel. We do not have a main shutoff valve. I don't know if it works or not. Even if the inspection was contracted, the lawn irrigation system was contracted, I wouldn't be. I don't do check valve. It's beyond the scope, so there's that. I'm gonna have some fun. I'll put that back. I don't see a weather sensor for the lawn sprinkler system. Again, limited, partial in context. So what did we learn? We learned we don't have a leak. We learned that our stem leaks. We learned that our water pressure is acceptable. We learned that we don't have Our vacuum breaker, we learned that the stem leaks. Like I said, that the piping is not supported and its piping is not insulated. We learned that we got a clean out here. That's looks like a single clean out. It's PVC. At least this much of it is PVC.